Welcome, campaigners. This is Campaign Terrain. If you're new to the channel, you're about to be a campaigner. Had a strange week. Been Thanksgiving. Had a mystery illness. Been a weird week, so I don't really know what I'm doing tonight. I think I'm going to paint some foam to then grind up into foam flock. I paint the foam first, and then let it harden, and then grind that in a coffee grinder. It makes it easier doing it that way around. So first, if anybody's here, let me know if you can hear me. Should be able to. I see the little mic doing its thing over there. Don't want to repeat of last week when nobody could hear me for, like 6 minutes or whatever it was. So, welcome. First, I'm going to be clearing up some of my ongoing project I've got with my little dinghy boats. I did, like I said in my previous live stream, paint the inside like wood, and I'm showing this camera like it's on. I did paint the inside like it's wood and paint the outsides like it's a painted boat. As you can see, I messed up some here around the edges. I think I'm just going to leave it. I don't think I'm going to go touch that up. I did before when I did this previous one, and I can't say that I would hate it once I get the washes and such on it. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to have to wash and dry brush this one in light colors, just like I did all the others, because they are darker colors. And this one, I'm going to have to do kind of the opposite. I'm going to hit it with like a black wash and leave it, and just kind of hope that it covers this white. I just figured there's a lot of white boats in the world. Why not make why not make a white boat? So I've been working on these. Here's my little handmade stencil that I'm going to do an overlay on my video about when I make the actual boat video, where I show these a little more defined than just the silver pin. But for now, I'm going to put my initial stencil that I used back in this little box, and put that and my demo and my soon-to-be other boats pieces into my project box, and move on with the evening. So let's see. I'm going to stand up with this one. Hold on. Good boat. I have a lot of boats. Okay. So this is a boat over here. I wonder I can never find any paintbrushes. I keep sticking them in project boxes. Okay. Grab all those. I do want to leave my paints in here because that way I know like what colors I've done before and which ones I like. So stack all the boats in there. Put the new ones in there. Put the stencil pieces in there. Hey, here's that brass brush I couldn't find. No wonder I couldn't find it. I was too efficient for my own good. Alright, so got my tan boom color in here. That's my base coat, but I've been using this for the dry brushing of the aging on this wood. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that one in there, but the rest of these paints I'm going to leave out for other things. So, well, somebody's watching. I see you. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me or cannot, because last week I had that issue where the sound wasn't coming through. So if you can hear me, let me know. If you can't hear me, you have no idea I just asked that. So, pencil here, paintbrush here. I think I'm going to need that, but I'll leave it out just in case. Now for the foams I'm coloring, I'm going to use the same colors that I used for my sawdust and tea flocks. So I've got a whole little box here of all my little colors, and these are all just base colors that come straight from the relatively cheap craft paints. I'm not mixing any specialty colors or anything like that. I can get a whole variety of colors for it. I'll show you with some of the flocks here in a minute, but I'm going to be making some of those tonight. I've got a bunch of little foam cubes isn't our word, little rectangles, oblongs, that I've already cut, I'm going to be dyeing those, painting those, tinting those, whichever, in the various colors, so that I can then let those dry and then grind them up later to use as foam flock. So, what was I doing? Oh, getting the foam. No, I was getting the other colors to show. Okay, as you can see here, I have rather a lot of different colors, and all of these are either made from sawdust I got from the hardware store for free, or from tea, except this one, that's actually cayenne pepper. But everything else is colored, is painted. And all I did was mix that in with paint and the sawdust and put it through the coffee grinder. Well, the way I do it, it comes out basically dry the moment it comes out of the grinder. So I do tend to still put it in a tray to sit overnight so it'll dry. And by overnight, I mean until I remember to touch it again. And it comes out in dozens of different colors, just based on whether it's made with tea, sawdust, or whichever. So I'm doing the same thing as this tonight, but in foam instead of sawdust and tea, so that it makes a different kind of flock. So I hope that's not too boring as I dip foam into many, many colors. I will also possibly use the Proxxon wire cutter to cut a whole bunch of more little bricks, because building all of those road pieces you've seen me build in the last 2 weeks have used up a lot of bricks. So I'll probably be cutting some more of those. You can never have too many bricks ready to go. Okay. Got a bunch of foam. This is literally stuff that came out of a old desk chair, or this may be out of the recliner, this may be out of the couch. But anyway, it's just cushion foam. This is the same sort of stuff that is inside speaker boxes to dampen some of the sound inside the box. It's used as cushion in like stadium seats, those vinyl-y ones that you carry with you that have like the little handle on them. Just basic foam. Oops. So you can see what's going on there. And I do have multiple formats because I cut it in different ways. Basically, the only reason I don't use these as much as this is because these I still have to cut down because they won't fit in the coffee grinder long like this, especially once they're rigid and full of paint. So set those off to the side, and I'm going to be taking handfuls of these and dipping them in paint tonight and setting them on a drying rack so that I can then, once they're dry, I'll grind them in a coffee grinder. I may wait till next week's live stream to do that, or I may have something entirely different for next week. So, if you're wondering, I'm going to go find some bowls to put the paint in so that I can dip these in. I also need my drying rack so that I can then immediately take them out and put them on the drying rack. So I need several bowls so I don't have to keep going and washing the same bowl or anything while I'm between colors. Go with a whole Roy G. Biv in here. Oops, I'm doing that back. Do I not have an indigo? I thought thought I had a purpley. Well, we're just gonna fake it. Okay. I'm not a fan of any one specific brand or anything. Just, I'm just putting that there so it's less boring while I go find my dang bucket that I can't find. Okay. Got a bunch of buckets and bowls to play with here. So, anybody out there? Are you crafting, hanging out, still recovering from Thanksgiving if you're one of us Americans that do that crazy stuff? What's going on in y'all's lives? That's weird. I wonder why that one caved in on itself. Oh, crap. That is some Pepto Pink stuff in it. All right. Flip all those over, let them readjust. They've been sitting for a while. I need to shake them all. What color? What color? I say we go with the rainbow. I say we do Roy G. Biv in that same color I just had laid out here a minute ago. I've got 5 of those. I'm going to need 7 total. Let's do that first, and we'll figure out the rest later. Speaking of painting, in case y'all are wondering about the stuff I've been working on the last couple weeks, I still have not gotten any farther along. So they still just have the base coat on them. But as before, just to show, I've got 3 different styles of bricks on the sides. I've got, it doesn't look like it, but I'll show you why in a minute. I've got 3 different styles of tiles on the top. And I'm pretty happy with the fact that they don't all match exactly, because that makes it look like they were built up over time in my medieval city. Now, these two look like they're the same, but they're really not. This one, I have some larger tiles and some smaller tiles. In this one, I've got the larger tiles right in here, and then I use smaller tiles the rest of the way out as if it was built in phases. So these are all larger, and then these and these are the smaller ones. This one, it's all large tiles except for somewhere where I'm making it look like it got repaired. Now I've got some grout, and it's non-sanded grout, which is funny because I'm gonna add sand to it, and I'm gonna put that on here, brush off the excess, spritz it with some isopropyl and some water, and let that harden in like mortar into all 3 of these, so that they will look a little less cardboard glue on, or foam glued on, or whatever. So, if you've been watching the last couple weeks, you know what I'm talking about with these. If not, please go back and watch the last couple weeks. These are streets for my modular city block blocks. Okay, I do not like to paint directly on my work surface, so I've got a piece of cardboard here to use as a paint drop cloth. Tuck that back in there. And I said I'm going to do Roy G. Biv, so let's start with some red, get that shaken up. Alright. Well, I've had a couple of viewers, but it looks like they both tuned out. Sorry about that. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm sure hoping you can. Red's a bright color, so we'll use a dark bowl so I can see it. Not that that really matters. Oh, I am going to need a painting glove. I don't know where my gloves went. Oh, there we go. Okay. Almost ready. We're going to take this and we're going to add me. We're going to add this camera to this camera so you can see me while I'm doing this stuff. Okay. Got one of my drying racks ready to go. And we are going to, I could probably prop up that other side with some foam at some point, but haven't got there yet. Okay, so shake and paint, because that's super exciting for the YouTube. Let's shake some paint. Try to mess with that, so we're just going to toss that lid to the top there. And put a bunch of that red paint in there. It doesn't actually take all that much. But of course, I got it just everywhere. So. Oh no, I got red paint on my red lid. Alright, I think I'm just going to take some of these and dip them in here. I may need to add some water to this. Well, I think it'll go farther if I add water. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This is going to come out super pink, and it's supposed to be bright red. I'm not sure how I'm going to fix that, but that's all right. This is for foliage and flowers anyway. So if the flowers are a little pink when I end up getting to that point, then the flowers are a little pink when I get to that. Okay. As I hope you can see, a bunch of that paint comes right back out of there when I squish. Wow, these want to get out of my hand. Okay, squish smaller amounts. You can see how much paint is that, and water is actually running right back out of there. That's fine, because I'm planning on doing a lot of these little cubes. They come out like this. Now, I can still see a lot of the foam yellow in here, and I don't care, because, like I said, these are going to be ground up into powder, and as long as all of it is painted at least somewhat red, that will work for flowers and, weird fey terrain and all that other stuff. So, yeah, exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Because got a lot of sawdust flock, but it works great for grasses and stuff. But it just doesn't look right as flowers. And so I'm looking forward to doing the foam stuff. Now, if I was a guy with lots of money, I could go and buy the foam flock from the craft stores. And to be honest, it's not that expensive. I like doing for myself, and I like being able to mix and match on the fly. So in the future, if I want to make a different color or 800 different colors, I can do that. And the stuff in the craft stores only comes, or hobby stores only comes in, 15 greens and then one or two other shades here and there. And this way I can make reds and pinks and purples and blues and yellows and oranges and other reds and other yellows. So squeezing a little less of the paint out this time because I do want it to be bright red when it's done, or bright pink, or whatever it comes out. I want it to be bright. So not as many people this week as the last couple weeks. I'm thinking that maybe maybe it's a post-Thanksgiving coma thing, but I don't know. I know all my European friends are probably asleep by now because it's midnight there, 1 o'clock there, 1 a.m. there. So, oh well. I could maybe start doing the live streams earlier. So if that's a thing y'all want, let me know in the comments. Also, in the stuff, the write-up for this down below, you'll notice that I've got my links and stuff. So the easiest way, if y'all ever want to give me any feedback or suggestions, or just yell at me or whatever, yell to me, who knows. The easiest and best way is probably to catch me on the Discord, and there's a link down there. But I've also got one to the Bookface and the gram, as they say. So, all right. As ever, I want to give a big shout out to my patrons. I've got 3 so far, and they are Digital Calibrator, Dungeon Matron, and Patrick Walther. And I appreciate all of you. I honestly, I cannot even tell you how happy I am that y'all have stuck with me through my weirdness of having my existential whatever it was for the last 2 years and not putting out any videos. I know that y'all have been either watching me live or commenting after, and I super appreciate all of that. I feel the love. So thanks to my patrons. I appreciate it hugely. Okay, I think I'm running out of space to stack red ones. Oh no, I got paint on my thing. And I'm kind of running out of paint in here, so I think this will be the last, maybe 2 batches of red. Not batches, handfuls. It's all one batch. So let's get this done here. As I use up some of the paint in here, it gets a little trickier to get it worked all the way through. That's what the squeezing at the end helps with that as well. It not only gets out excess for the next round, but it also inundates all of these with it. Now, with that extra water in there and doing all the squeezing, I'm pretty sure that the color's going all the way through. And when I grind these up, they will be consistently colored. So that'll be a good thing. I keep reaching with my left hand. Anyway. So this should be the last batch of the red. And I'll set this bowl off to the side, swap my glove or rinse off my glove, and then said I was going to do this in Roy G. Biv order. So the next one should be orange. Which I can probably do in this same bowl, if I'm honest. Because orange is not going to mess up the red. Can't do the yellow after the orange, but I can do the orange after the red with no problem. All right. Y'all hear me all right? I see there's at least one of y'all out there. Can you hear me? Because last week I wasn't broadcasting audio at first, and I want to make sure I got audio coming through. Let's see. Thank you. You there. there. Thank you. And shake you. We're going to take this. I'll be right back. I just got to find a place to sit these to dry. It looks like I am performing dastardly deeds with my plastic glove all covered in red here. Honest officer, I'm just a crafter. Arc going on there. I'm going to have the same problem with this one. Alright, so we will take this little cardboard doojima flop here off the top of the paint, throw it out because it's not doing me any favor. This paint's thinner than the red was, but I'm still going to add some water to it. That's about as much as I had last time. Red. So let's get the lid on there. Again, I'm not particular to any certain brand of paint. Just cheap craft paint. Cheap craft paints work great for this, and with most rain. So I'm just working with what I found was the least expensive on the day. And this Craft Smart has always been a champ. It's always been a super duper team player, so to speak. It works really well. Has decent coverage. Goes on smooth. Dries quicker than house paints I have found, which is odd because I would think house paints would have less moisture. But it's a champion. But like I said, I use whatever's expensive or available at the time. Definitely not a specific promotion, but I do like the Craft Smart just fine. It is exactly what it says on the tin. It is paint for crafting, and it works great. Craft Smart. Craft Smart. If you get that reference, we can be friends. We could probably be friends anyway. But if you get that reference, let me know. Foam down. Foam down. That one's lost to the ages. I'll find it in a few hours and pick it up, but I'm not worrying about it right now. Okay. I'm not having the issue with this that I have with the red. With this, you can see the orange just fine. There's no... The yellow of the foam itself is not coming through like it did on the other. I'm going to end up creating a lot more of these little foam cubes than I thought. I'm going to end up having to get some more foam here in a bit. But for now, working with what we got. Nobody's commented yet. I see people online. So if you're there and you can hear me, please let me know. If you can't, then you probably don't know I'm asking you this. Okay. I think this orange is started out thinner, but I don't think it spreads any further than the red, which is fine. It's still consistency, but it just means I need to add a little more. After I wipe my hand off it. Not that I'm really worried about getting paint on the bottle, but I'd like to be able to see the label later. Okay. A little more of that. Doing a much better job of pouring this than I did with the red. Got that red kind of all over the bottle. Okay. In case you have not read the headline and understood it, or just tuning in and didn't even read the headline, you're just like, woo, Cross is live, let's go talk to him. I am painting foam that I'm going to let harden up, and then I'm going to put through a coffee grinder once it's dry. That won't be tonight. And once it goes through the coffee grinder, this is going to be foam flock that I use for flower blossoms, things like that. So I want it to have a little different consistency than the sawdust and tea flocks I've done before, and the stuff I've done out of kitchen herbs. I have a lot of flock. I need to make a lot more foliage. So I guess I should make more foliage. Let me know in the comments, or come over to the Discord and let me know if there's any particular thing you'd like to see. Do you want to see just more trees? Do you want to see flower beds? Do you want to see cherry blossom trees like they have in Asia each spring? Let me know what you want to see. If you're just like, you need more of this kind of foliage, you let me know. If you want weird, not weird, unusual to us, fey stuff that looks like it's from another world, though if you look at funguses in the woods, some of them look pretty wild to begin with. That may be where a lot of those stories came from. But if you want weird, gungy, purple and green, cave-dwelling, mossy stuff, let me know. But I plan on I guess I should make a lot more foliage. Basically, I make all of these in preparation for stuff I do in future. This is, to me, kind of the same as cutting a million bricks for, doing miniature masonry later. So, planning ahead. I guess squeeze that too much. Let's get a little more back into those. Let's squeeze them so they're not dripping, but let's get them fuller. There we go. Like that. I think this will be my last batch of orange here. Then I got to switch bowls because I don't want to do yellow in the same bowl as the orange. Got so little of this already pre-cut down foam that I think I may just stop with the coloring for now and go get my other foam that's this size and cut some of these smaller. The only reason I want them smaller is so they fit into the coffee grinder once they're hardened from after the paint. Now, I could make these even harder if by adding glue to the paint. So this is kind of an experiment. I've never really made foam flock before. So I may be really regretting this to the tune of 8 different colors in a couple days. But worst case scenario, if these are too soft or something, I can always just re-dip them in a glue mixture. But I don't think that's going to be necessary. Okay, this paint's all going to dry on here and be fine for later because I mostly use these as drying plates for putting wet stuff in. But just in case that changes the color or something later is why I wipe all those out. Better safe than sorry. Okay. I think I'm running out of paint here. This may have been a bad idea to use this one last batch, but we shall see. Wow, I have paint all over the bowl. I got the paint in the bowl. I might actually be able to use it to change these, to color these up. Okay, squeeze to get the paint all the way through again, and then soak up the last of that. And I think we are done with the orange. I can set the bowl off to the side. I can set these foams off to the side to dry, and see where that's going. All right. Getting a few more viewers now. That's excellent. That's excellent. Glad to have y'all. Feeling the love. Let me know if you can hear me, because I know a couple of times, because I know that last week for the first few minutes I had forgotten to unmute myself. So if somebody could let me know you've heard me, that would be excellent. I'm going to go sit these somewhere to dry, toss this bowl in my sink, and I think I'm just going to rinse off my glove and use it again. I will be right back. So, going off. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Let's see. Wipe some of this up. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to need to be grinding these pieces of foam that I've been painting. So they need to go on my coffee grinder, which means they have to fit my coffee grinder. So I have gone and gotten a bunch of my larger pieces so I can fit them down, cut them down, excuse me, to fit in the coffee grinder. So again, this is literally from old furniture. So this is pennies worth of project because it's tiny amounts of paint in free material. Roy G. Bibb. So what's next? Yellow. Yellow's next. All right. So I have the yellow ready to go. But let's get these cut down first. I know it's going to be super exciting watching me cut foam with a pair of scissors. But, I hope it's not too boring. Yeah, the flickering in the video, that's should have gone better just now because that has to do with I'm on a potato level computer and it does not really have the oomph, even with a video card in it, to drive both cameras at once, or especially I tried 3 cameras one time. So now that I've cut it down to 1 camera, that should be better. That flickering should go, which is pretty much exactly why I did it. See if I can do this with a knife. It may be faster. Well, maybe if I use a cutting board instead of cardboard. So the audio's good, though, this week, right? Because it was good last week, but I just forgot to turn it on for the first 6 minutes because, well, reasons. I would not say this is faster. It works. It's not faster. Excellent. Good to know. So, who's doing what out there? Anybody crafting? Anybody hanging out with family because it's still sort of Thanksgiving? Anybody dreading Cyber Monday tomorrow? What's going on out there? Let me know. Meanwhile, I will just sit here and cut foam and cut foam. For anybody that tuned in last couple of weeks when I've been working on my city blocks, they're over there. I can show you again, or you can go back later and watch the beginning of this video. I show where I've gotten so far. So far, they still just have a base coat gray on them, and I show what I'm planning on doing with some sand and grout to fill in the little holes between the tiles, so that the roadways look more complete. Right now, you can tell it's styrofoam squares on cardboard, and I'll be fixing that up with some sand and grout later. Glue that down. I'll put it on dry and then add the glue after to let it soak in, and so hopefully it will end up looking like actual mortar. I think I'm going to hold off on doing that until after I've painted them, so that the mortar looks like natural sand and grout and mortar. Otherwise, I've got to just hope that it gives the appearance between the eventual tile colors. I think I'm going to do the tiles in a green and blue background color, which I have done in some of my previous videos. I like the way that looks. I swiped the idea from Devs and Dice. Leif does what he calls mustard and ketchup, and he does reds and yellows. I like that. I also like reds and oranges. I like greens and purples, but I think I'm going to do a green and blue because I plan on doing some of the roof tiles on roof shingles tiles, etc., on my houses in that town in blue and green as well, and I'm going to sort of homogenize it, make it look like they're all quarried from the same stone in the area. That's my dream. If I ever get around to finishing that city. It turned out to be, it's simple to do, it just sort of overwhelmed me, and I realized, oh, this is going to be like 8 feet wide by 8 feet wide, and I was like, oh no. So we shall see. Lurking is fine. Good to see you, Flocka. I've haven't seen you in a while. I know that we're on some of the, at least one of the same Discords. But lurking is good. I like lurking. Just sit and chill. I hope I'm pretty chill. I'm just rambling on about various projects I've got going on. I showed my boats that are going to be the subject of a very soon upcoming video, not live stream, where I showed that I've got sort of a stencil designed, and I still wish I was better at like 2D art, so I could put out a letter-sized and A4-sized stencil, or what am I trying to say? Cutting guide on those boats, but I am finding that I can make the designs just fine. The problem I'm having is I'm not able to represent them in scale. I need to find a program that can show it in scale that's intuitive to me. And I'll get that worked in at some point. The cutout stencil for those boats will be available, but basically they're a 2-inch by 10 to 11-inch strip of foam core, so it's not like it's a complicated build. Somebody joked one time that I should do ASMR because some of my stuff makes weird noises. And I'm not quite to that point yet, but if anybody wants to hear me cut this foam and this weird little crunchy noise it makes, let me know. I'm just finding it sort of interesting. I didn't think that foam, since a lot of things use foam to dampen sound, I find it odd that the foam is making sound. Oh, crafting, I like it. I should do it more, but stuff interferes some days. Outside of the crafting itself, if anybody is interested in that sort of thing, this week I am looking more into kind of a long story, and it's kind of super simple. I had a shipping issue when I was doing some stuff on Etsy before, and Etsy's got some issues that I'm not particularly comfortable with. It's just not suited really to me. So I think I'm going to be switching over to selling some of my homemade stuff on um, that Big Guys platform, and I can picture him in my head. What's the name? Amazon. That's what it's called. After we're forgetting what the platform's called, they're probably like, "Don't sell on our platform, kid." But I'm looking into getting those arranged. I have to talk to the post office first because my issue with Etsy is on my sales I had there, the shipping just ate me alive. It took away all of my profit, and everybody I've talked to said, "Oh, it shouldn't have cost that much." I'm like, "Yes, but it did." So I've got to have a conversation with the post office first. If I'm using a certain type of box that the post office provides, then my packaging issues are solved. If I have to ship with my own packages, I then have to create packages out of cardboard to fit my stuff. Then I've got to weigh it. So all of that's going on. And then once those dimensions and weights and probable shipping costs, then I will be posting the stuff I've built before on Amazon and maybe eBay. I do have my own URL for that side of stuff that's good through May, but I haven't ever done anything with it because of all these same reasons. And I think I don't want to go through the process of being my own store, at least until I can produce things in larger volume. And I'm never going to be able to do that crafting here in my basement. So that's a future cross thing. Future cross sounds like a sport, doesn't it? So, like I said, cutting these down so that they will fit in my coffee grinder after painting. Once I've cut these down into little chunks, I will then paint them in various colors, paint the blocks. Once I paint the little blocks of foam, I will be letting those dry and harden. And at a later date, probably tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, I will be grinding those with the coffee grinder to make foliage out of foam, just like I did with the sawdust in previous videos I've put out. So I will have three kinds of micro foliage at that point. I will have the sawdust, the tea. Oh, I guess four kinds: sawdust, tea, the kitchen herbs I've used before, and this stuff. And each has a slightly different consistency that I think contributes to different types of builds better. Like I think most of these are going to be foams and mosses, and the sawdust and tea stuff I'm going to keep using for leaves and, well, I guess ground litter is also leaves. Live leaves and dead leaves. I know this is probably not the most exciting thing, but this is real crafting. This is what it takes to do the other stuff. So I'm creating all of these little foam bricks ahead of time so that I can grind that up and have the foliage ready ahead of time for making more stuff in the first place. I asked a little earlier on here that if anybody has any ideas of things they would like to see me foliate, let me know. If you want to see a particular type of build or anything, you can either let me know in the comments down below. Right now, my channel is super small, and I still look at all of the comments. I know the internet thing is don't ever read the comments, but I read all the comments. So if you have a specific type of foliage you want to see, let me know either in the comments or down below this video in the About section. There's a link to my Discord. That is the easy way to reach me because that sits there and waits for me, and it lets me know when you've commented. So I love having people on the Discord. Fun. Get the bounce ideas off each other, and we all learn from each other, which is a great thing. All right. Oh, oddly, the thing that I thought I was either gonna be bored cutting all these. I'm not. I thought I was gonna be getting exasperated and these were gonna bounce everywhere. It hasn't been a problem. I've lost a couple on the floor, but the price of crafting, I suppose, and the foam itself is free. So I'll either retrieve them later or they'll get swept up. When I do that, I clean up my workspace about once a week. So, but oddly, the thing that's bothering me tonight is, I don't know if you can see it, but the scissors are messing with me. I'm not happy. Whatever. What's the old adage of art is pain, or we struggle for our art, or whatever it is? True in more ways than one. It could be a lot worse than a bump on my finger. Anybody wants to hear fun stuff I've done to myself accidentally while crafting, I can go into that. Electrocutions, cuttings, bad inhalations. Yeah. Wouldn't think crafting is a contact sport, but there it is. Getting closer to done, seeing the end, lighting through the end of the tunnel. So, anybody who's new, welcome. Anybody who's coming back, welcome back, campaigners. I already gave a shout out once, but it's worth repeating. I do have 3 patrons, and I am supremely grateful for them. So that's Dungeon Matron, Patrick Walther, and Digital Calibrator. And for the audio being better, you can thank Digital Calibrator for that. They came over and actually physically helped me configure some of my audio equalization and such. That first week's audio, ooh, I almost want to go back and just record over it, but that would be weird for a 2-hour video, I guess. Certainly time consuming. So, many shouts out to my patrons. I also have a minion / contributor behind the scenes as well, so shout out to them. They know who they are. I don't know if they want me to say on camera who they are, but I appreciate it. And I've got support at home as well. My partner is very understanding of my wanting to be creative. So, shouts out all around. And don't think I'm leaving y'all out. If y'all are viewing this, I super duper appreciate it. If you want to comment down below and critique me, I love that. If you want to yell at me, okay. Don't know why you would, but sure, whatever. So I'm just glad you're here and along for the ride, and I hope I'm not boring anybody too much. Cutting my foam and cutting my foam. I'll be painting my foam in a moment, so that'll be much more exciting. It won't be. But it will be all exciting in the end when I create beautiful, beautiful things with all of this foliage and flock that I am building. So, worth it. Worth it. Now, this is not a particular green hobby we do. We buy lots of foams, we buy lots of chemicals, etc. This foam is free and is getting recycled from somebody's butt warmer, butt cushion, into what I hope will be beautiful foliage and flock in the future. So I like to feel that I'm recycling at least once. And with any luck, someone will end up with my crafts that I build, and they will love them and keep them their whole lives. And if they are much younger than me, that means that it will outlive me, and that would just be cool. Oh my god, it would be cool. So I'm doing my little bit to recycle by using this old foam here. This literally just came out of this came out of three places. It came out of a desk chair, it came out of a old couch, and it came out of an old recliner. So this is essentially a free project. There's paint, but it's pennies worth of paint. So the part I'm doing tonight costs basically nothing. I'm not bleeding or practicing surgery or anything. This is my reds and orange from earlier in the live stream here. Now this is going to have the same problem here. There's going to be a weird paper thing here, and it's going to tear apart when I try to open it. So I am just good with the grammar cross. I've just been discarding these. So we will put that there. Okay, I'm going to pour some of that in here. Learn from the orange. I did too little last time, so there's a little more yellow this time. Made a mistake again. I keep getting my hands all messy before I close the jar. So, well, I guess I kind of have to. Okay, put that in there. And we're going to take this. And don't really care if the jar gets covered in paint, but it does sometimes obscure the label. So let's not do that. I already know I'm going to need some water. And, this, y'all can see, I'm really not doing anything to this. I'm just kind of putting the paint and water in here together. Not even particularly mixing it, because once I add the foam and mush it around, it mixes pretty well. And then once I start to squeeze it back out of the foam, I'm going to need a drying rack. Let me go grab that. That sort of mixes the paint on its own. So this is like a really low stress, super easy project. And it'll yield millions of beautiful little flowers after. Which beats the heck out of making each one by hand. That's why we use the flock and the foliage. Okay, thanks, Kim. You have a great night, too. Thanks for stopping by and letting me know. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you, Kim. That's Kim from Questboard Terrain. Does amazing builds, and most of her videos also have a story about what's going on in the video, and the stories are amazing. She has sung, she has told poetry, she's read excerpts from a book within her story. There's a library and there's stuff going on, and just amazing stuff. And the videos are great, and the builds are beautiful. So go check out Questboard Terrain. And I appreciate stopping by and letting me know that you're here. I really feel the love. So, if anybody else out there, even if I've never met you before, you can't put links in the thing, but you can tell us who you are. So if you craft or whatever, let us know. Always willing to share that info around. If you're, I pretty much only look at stuff that's gaming terrain on my YouTubes there. So if you are related to gaming terrain or perhaps gaming minis, I may even sub to your channel, just so let us know who you are. If you're do other stuff that's not related to that, I will either sub on a different account or at least let some people know. You get a chance to shout out for yourself here. I don't mind that at all. And some people are like, don't talk about your channel on my channel. And I'm like, why? You don't craft like I craft, so your stuff is not going to interfere with my stuff. So one of the beauty things about handmade, it's not going to offend me if you also make stuff. Okay. This yellow is not behaving like the red and orange did. That is kind of odd, but that is okay. It is okay. It will still make tons of beautiful flowers. or creepy mosses, or whatever. I can already tell that to get the same volume as I did with the orange and red, I need to add some paint. I think I added too little at the beginning. I don't think it's that the paint doesn't go as far. I just think I didn't add as much. So. If you are a fellow crafter, let us know. We'll go check out your stuff. If you are interested in doing so, link to my Discord is down below, and you can more semi-permanently there. I've got a place where you can tout yourself as well on my Discord. So if you put out videos, there's a area for that. And if you just want to talk about the stuff you do, there's an area for that. This was not right. I should not have done this because I knew I was going to have to add more paint. And I put the stuff in without adding the paint. So we will set that. We're just going to do this off to the side here. Pour it down the side of the bowl instead of straight in the middle. That should be quite plenty. I don't know if that's bad with the grammar tonight. I don't know. If y'all are here for my grammar, y'all are in the wrong channel. That channel is called... No, I don't have a channel for that. I don't. I have friends that would be surprised I don't. I correct myself and sometimes them. Shh, don't tell. All the time, but... Okay, a little more water. And, not that. Start the squishings. Squishings of paint. Mini squishings of paint. Yep. Bit off more than I can chew on that handful. Okay, squeeze that out. Dump them over here. Ready for the next batch. So somebody I was talking to, I think it was in one of these live streams, could have been on a Discord, was talking about making rigging for ships for gaming. And while I know how to do that, that is in my set of skills, I'm wondering if maybe when I get to making such things, if I don't actually want to bother with all that, if I just want to sort of get there so that I can make it easier for play, because a million little ropes on your boat, ship, whatever, is definitely going to get in the way of placing minis for combat and such. Or not even combat. Where was he standing? Then no, he can't see the Kraken from there. Whatever. So what do y'all think? You think more detail and less playability, or more playability and less detail? Any ideas? Let me know. Again, you can let me know here in the comments, or you can wander over to the Discord and let me know there. Okay. For anybody who's caught me only here the last couple of weeks and tonight, I don't just do live streams, though I plan on doing them every Sunday from now on, for at least for a while. I do also do actual videos. I haven't put one out in quite a while, but I am working on some. For those who have been paying attention the last 2 weeks on these live streams, you'll know that I'm working on some city streets that'll go with my modular build. I don't know that I'm going to do a video on that, because I've already done a video on how the city blocks are built, and the streets are just smaller versions. But I do have some other things lined up. I've got some stuff about the dinghies that I was building on the stream last week, and I've actually done a little more during the week I'm going to be putting out a video on how to make those little boats. Then I will be doing a video on the piers and docks I have previously shown on Insta and Facebook. And those I don't like the way they turned out. I've studied many pictures of them, and I have thought back to some. I live in Florida, but I stay right now in Georgia, and so looking back at the pictures I've seen online, it's dredging up memories of stuff I've seen in Florida. And I'm like, oh, of course, I did those entirely wrong. So I'm going to be revamping my piers and docks, so there'll be a video on that. Both on that exact process of sometimes you realize that you didn't make it the way it really looked because you didn't look at your source photos. And sometimes that's good, that's fine. And sometimes you want to go back and change it, and that's what I will be doing. I think that's enough yellow, so I'm going to need some more foam here in a minute. Just sit this bowl off to the side for now. Ooh, that is all covered in paint. So let's get the bottom cleaned off there. We will set that to the side. And let me go sit these somewhere to dry. I will be back in just moments. When I come back, I will be switching colors because then we're going to be into the greens. And I don't want the yellow probably won't hurt the green, so we'll probably do that. Actually, you know what? I'll use the same bowl because that'll be fine. Let me go sit this to dry. Okay. So we will green. Not sure what I would actually need green foam foliage for, since I've already got 827 colors of green in other foliages. But I said I was going to do Roy G. Biv. Stick to the plan, Cross. All right. Hey, Cleric, how you doing? I've got to get me one of those brooms. I was watching your build with the Ray-Bans, and I love the way that thatch comes out. It's just amazing that it works so well. It looks so great. And I've even got some of the clear PVA like you put over the top of it. So yeah, I'm good to go there. I just need to find some bristly brooms like that. I suppose I could use a I lost track of thought. Chip brush and cut the bristles off. I have some of those I bought specifically for the plan of cutting them up for that was for tall grasses, but I suppose I could do the same thing with thatching. Seems like a good place to start anyway, but I'm probably gonna find one of those brooms as well. We do have some Asian stores here, so I could probably find one, but they're not particularly close to my house. I'm going to have to go for a little bit of a drive to find those. But I love that build, and I thought it was very cool of you showing the first-person camera thing. If y'all get a chance, go check out Cleric's Creations channel. Does beautiful work in a style that is very different than mine, which is super cool. I really enjoyed watching. So I've got a hole in my gloves. I'm going to swap those out. Apparently, I've got a lot of holes in my glove. My hands are... Oh, I didn't realize it was on the top camera. I keep trying to show this camera over here, thinking it's on. I didn't realize I was looking down the whole time. But that's probably better, because that gives you a better shot of what I'm doing with the paint here. So my hand's already covered in paint, but I still don't like it. So I'm going to wipe that off as much as I can. I'm going to grab a different glove, because I think these are a little sturdier. squeaky balloon noise. Lovely. Okay, so as I said before, I don't really need to mix the paint because the sponges do that for me. I do need to get some. Oh no, I don't. I already cut some. Look at me go. Okay, so the reason I need this small size, for anybody that missed that the 1,800 times I've said it already in this video, is so they fit in a coffee grinder once the foam has dried. I'm getting the foam saturated all the way, or the paint saturated through all the way, so that these will harden up, and then I can grind them up to make foliage later. That will not be tonight, because I don't have any already prepared. You're a bad host. Why didn't you already? I don't know. I didn't even know what I was doing tonight until like an hour and a half before the stream, so. Don't come at me, bro. Okay. If I squeeze the green too hard, just as a cautionary tale, if I squeeze the green too hard, it comes right out and you can still see the yellow. So I'm going to have to leave some more paint in here than I thought I would, but that is fine. Just means don't squeeze as hard. And again, don't put too much in your hand. If you overload it, they try to squit out the side, and you end up having some that have way too much paint in them still on your hand, or they squit out and you have to redo them again, that's actually a better result. Okay, so I lost track of what I was saying in here. Oh yeah, so these will harden up with the paint in them, and then I will grind those up once they've dried, and that is why I need the chunks to be smaller so they fit in my coffee grinder. Long train of thought to get to that point, but that's why I'm cutting them small, is for coffee grinding needs. Coffee grinding needs, whatever. So, you think playability is better than accuracy? I think I'm leaning that way. And not solely because that also means a lot less nitpicky rigging I have to do, but I just want to be able to plunk it down on the table and have it ready to go. And then when the scene or the travel experience or whatever is over and the players, and I don't want to like have to reach in and try to find it and pull the minis out and worry about wrecking rigging or the rigging wrecking things, because I can see little tiny ship ropes easily like breaking weapons and such on minis, and we don't want any of that. So plus I have lost a tiny mini on a gaming table before, and it took me a while to find it. I was a goblin, little itty bitty mini about that tall. Normally they're about that tall, and it took me I accidentally found it a couple weeks later. Yeah, so I think playability and visibility through the stuff on the table are probably better ways to go than even remotely, not 100%, but remotely accurate depictions. That was a bad idea. I'm going to take all of you that I painted, stick you in with the ones that I painted. And I'm going to need more paint again, like I did with the yellow. Thought so when I was pouring it. I was like, is that enough? Nah, it'll be fine. No, it won't. It'll be fine. No, it won't. And I was right the first time. No, it won't. So, anybody else working on crafting tonight or just hanging out? Thought it was a cooking stream, huh? I could cook. I actually am a good cook, but I work in a basement, so not a lot of cooking goes on down here. I'm a good cook. I am not only a brave cook, yeah, I'll try that, but I'm also good at it. At least on stovetop stuff. I'm not a good baker. Once it goes in the black magic box, I'm like, I don't know, man. When I'm like, we'll toss it in a pan. If it tastes good, it tastes good. And the bakers are like, you need exactly 134.7 grams. And I'm like, what? No, I don't do the science. I am not an alchemical cooker. I firmly appreciate and admire all of the skill and expertise that goes into that. One of my housemates is in fact a professional dessert and pastry baker. So I understand and appreciate the science and such in it. That is just, I am not that guy. Wasn't me, bro. Wasn't me. The closest I get to baking is stuff like pre-made brownie packet, uh, pre-made brownie sets, kits, whatever, where you just mix the stuff together and toss it in the pan and bake it the amount of time it tells you on the packet. That is as good as my baking gets. I am really stretching this last batch of green thin, but I think it'll do all right, especially if I add just a tiny bit more water. We got Roy G. Biv. So next is blue. Can't really do that in the green, so I'm going to have to swap out my bowls here again in a minute. Yep, just a tiny bit more water. That's a lot of water, but that's all right. It'll work. Okay. I'm just trying to get it saturated here. Yep, that's too much water, but it's all right. It'll dry out. Okay. We'll set that there. Again, we will clean the bottom so we can set the bowl off to the side. This bowl dry off the green off the glove. This can be fun. I'm going to be using blue paint on a blue glove. I won't even know if I have any on me. I got to get some more foam to cut down again, so that'll be super exciting for round 2 of foam cutting. Again, the reason I got to cut it small so it fits in a coffee grinder. I'm running out of drying rack, so I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the whole Roy G. Biv spectrum tonight. Let me get some more foam over here. All right, so again, I am cutting foam down so that it fits in my coffee grinder once it's dried. Once it's cut down, I will be making saturating these with mini paint colors so that I can let them dry and then grind them up and use them as flowers and other foliage. So that is what I am doing tonight. I was thinking I was also going to get to a couple other things, but it looks like I am approaching my hour and a half that I normally give. If y'all want me to go longer, I can, but my plan is to take off in about 10 minutes. So I appreciate everybody that's come by and stuck around for a while. I know that it's kind of a long stream, but I just watched somebody play a video game I don't even play for the other day for like 6.5 hours. So I know that we do what we do to support people and make them feel the love on the interwebs. So I certainly appreciate all of y'all coming. I especially appreciate anybody like, share, subscribe, and if you come over and hang out on the Discord, that would be cool. I love that. And again, big shout out to my patrons and a couple other people that help me keep this going. So my patrons are Dungeon Matron, Patrick Walther, and Digital Calibrator. I also have someone on my Patreon that somehow got in at a free tier. I don't even have a free tier. That said, if I ever get to the point of putting out things like patterns and stencils, I will let them go to all my patrons. So maybe I should add a free tier. I don't know how that person got it, but I'm not very good with the Patreon sign-ups anyway. But I hugely appreciate the people that show me that love over there. But the Discord is the way to reach me. So if you ever want to talk, I'm on the Discord all the time. The link to that and my Facebook and my Insta are right below this video. And hopefully I'll get around to doing some more painting within the next 10 minutes before I actually go offline here. Because I know that watching me cut in preparation for painting is not that exciting, especially when the painting is just in preparation for later grinding, which is in preparation for later making. It's all part of the process. But on the other hand, this lets people who are perhaps new to this or wanting to get into this to know the reality of crafting is a lot of hanging out and chilling with people or watching live streams or videos or podcasts or whichever, and cutting and painting and cutting and painting of all sorts of different materials. So I like to think that I'm at least presenting the reality of our hobby. I know that cutting foam is not exciting, but it is necessary to the later parts of the hobby. And it does give me something where I'm going to be sitting for hours anyway, and I can sit here and chat with y'all. So I love that part. Not sure why it looked like a cooking thing. Is it because it's the top-down image? I can do this instead. It looked like I was putting ingredients in a bowl. I can see that. I haven't quite gotten to the point of telling the YouTube system that I plan on going live. I guess I should get around to that. And but in order to do that, you kind of really do need a thumbnail picture. So that's just a little extra effort and stuff. I've done lots of thumbnails, so I don't mind doing that. It's just it's one more step in the process. So I haven't quite got there yet. So yeah, I can see, especially if I was doing the green part, why somebody might have thought this was a cooking show. I am not picking up the foam though. I do not think it would be very tasty. The world's most true-to-life sponge cake. You know, sponge. Oh, oh, oh. Welcome to my sense of humor. I don't have one. Well, I do, but it's really bad. I mean, if you go to the Discord, you'll know how bad it is. I have a whole section just for puns. Almost done cutting this batch of foam. And then I can get back to some painting. But I still got to cut these into smaller pieces after I get these strips cut down. So one thing I don't like about having to put out the videos for the YouTubes in general, when people have like and me included, have the attention span to watch videos between 8 and 25 minutes. And that does not let people get the reality of drying times and things like that, and processes like the one I'm doing here. So that's a little, not a peeve, that's not the right word. It's one of the things you got to understand about this, is that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. People are like, how long does a video take you to make? And I'm like, do you mean the editing or the actual making? And somebody was amazed one time. I have a video that, it's actually 3 videos, I think. Maybe 2. No, it's 3. 3 videos where I did a whole scene that was for a challenge build. And it's like 3 20 to 30 minute videos. So hour and 15 minutes worth of video. And it took weeks to do the entire process. And for anybody who's wanting to get into the hobby, do not let that put you off. It's an absolute fun hobby, and having the finished product at the end and being able to look at it and go, I did this, is just amazing. But just be aware that a lot of it is sitting for hours cutting sponges in little cubes or whatever. Somebody asked one time, so how much time does a video actually take? And I was like, well, if you see 45 minutes of video on screen, that is probably 5 to 10 hours worth of effort, and that's not including just letting things dry. So that is where we're at. Okay, I'm supposed to be ducking out in about 3 minutes, so if everybody runs off at 8:30, I won't feel offended or anything. I understand y'all have lives and got stuff to do. I was thinking of doing the blue paint for these cubes tonight, but I think I am not. I am going to call it an evening in just a few minutes and set the blue out to remind myself, and I will be doing that either tomorrow or Tuesday. That will also give me a chance to paint those cubes that day and then put those somewhere to dry. I'm running out of drying rooms, sitting places, so I can pick up the stuff that's I painted tonight that will be dry by then and start on grinding that, and then by being able to stack that to the side and then put the new wet ones down, then I can grind the other stuff after I've got the new ones ready to paint, ready to dry. So everything works in stages. So I think I like that. I'm going to cut a few more of these cubes here, and then I'm going to let you go. But I hope everybody has at least enjoyed hearing about the process or understanding the effort that goes into these, and just realize that I'm not just whinging on about myself. This is true of every creator, and I forget it about other people's stuff as well. If you see somebody's video, just know that they put in hours and hours and hours of love of the hobby and of their viewership just so you could see that. And I think it is super cool that lots and lots of people are doing that. So, proud to be one of them, and I appreciate you all coming by tonight. Again, Discord, Facebook, and Insta links are below. People keep telling me I also should get a blue sky, so I'll probably get one of those as well here in a bit. And but for right now, there's 3 links down below, or you can go watch my videos on my YouTube channel. I am reachable most easily at my Discord, and I appreciate you all coming by. I think I'm going to call that it for the video. I'll probably finish cutting these off camera, but I appreciate y'all coming by, and thank you so much. I feel the love. So, to all my campaigners out there, thank you for coming by. I love you, and until next time, I wish you luck in your campaign. Have a great night.